this now brings us to our weekly speaker spot at Business at Breakfast. So every week a member gets a chance to share with the group further insights into their business or enlighten the group a little bit more about themselves. The member can use this time to problem solve or seek assistance from the group as a collective. The time is theirs to use however they would like. Alison, do you want to introduce who the member is today that's speaking?
I would love to. For the room, this is someone that no one's going to have heard of. So please be kind to her because she's going to be quite shy today. So today our speaker is Misty Henkel. Let me tell you a little bit about Misty. Misty lives in Queensland, Australia, and is a sales trainer whose online sales classes have helped hundreds of people each year increase their customer database and close sales. Misty speaks to business groups each week on the topic of closing sales and overcoming sales anxiety, and is available to speak at corporate events from $2,000. She is well known all over the world for simplifying the sales process, and her 2 sales books, which can be purchased directly from her. Simply follow simple strategies to close sales on any product or service. Misty is also easily found on Google. So, Misty, if you could just muster up the courage and tell us a little bit about yourself today, that would be great.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Alison. I'll start a timer for 8 minutes because Lord knows I will need to be cut off. All right. Thank you, Alison, for introducing me today. I don't usually get this chance, so I'm actually really excited. So, yes, my turn to speak. So I'll start from the beginning. So, hi, I'm Misty Henkel from Misty Henkel Sales Training, and I'm a sales trainer. I sell sales training, which starts at $25, and the people who buy it are those who have a sales goal that they want to achieve this year. So a little bit of history about me. I am a salesman by trade. Back in the 90s when I started in the selling industry, I started in hospitality and I was a barmaid for 10 years. So from 18 to 27, I was a barmaid. And then after that, I moved into retail selling furniture at the Everyday Furniture Shop here in Australia. I sold Apple computers, and I've also sold patents and trademarks. So many other things. I've worked in record stores and jewelry stores, and I've also been at the help desk for the patents and trademark office selling patents and trademark applications as well. Interestingly, of all the products and services that I have sold, all of them have come at full price and you could never discount them. All of these places, nothing was ever discounted. So I learned through trial and error that even though people complain about having to spend money and how much things cost, they would pay for it anyway, which anyone who's experienced any sales training with me will know that one of my main topics that I teach is the price is the price. And the price of your product or service isn't the problem that will stop people from buying. It's actually the way you say the price of the product or service. So through all of my sales jobs, sales training wasn't available to me. So in the early 90s, when I first started, I didn't have, in hospitality, there was no sales training. And in retail, when I started at the furniture store, we didn't have a sales training program. It was basically serve the customers that came in. So everything was done through trial and error. In my effort to learn how to sell better, I mean, I really like the idea. I've always liked money. So I like the idea of commission, where you get paid, but you also get paid more, depending on how much you sell or how you treat people. I've always loved the American model of getting tipped when you work in hospitality. And so that was why the first 10 years I worked in hospitality, because I really liked that idea. In Australia at the time, tipping wasn't there. But I've been to America and I've been to Canada and places where I've given tips and thought, oh, it'd be so good to work here. And the few times I have gotten tips when I had worked like in pubs and bars, I didn't realize I was getting a tip. I thought someone had left their change, and then I called them back, gave them their money back, and it was just embarrassment all round. So, you know, learning how to actually accept a tip, that was pretty important as well. But I had to learn how to sell by myself. So it was through trial and error, and it was also through sales books. I started buying sales books. And so from that, the sales books I would read them grab all this information, I would go into work, and then I would practice what was in whatever sales book it was. So I would run experiments on getting those sales ideas to work. And I would ask the people that I work with, could you try this? Could you try this? Could you try this? So I would run experiments all the time. So basically all my training has very much been self-taught and trial and error and watching what other people do. I used to get asked at the furniture shop to go to some of the other stores to help out. I always thought it was to help while someone was on holidays because they just needed an extra person on the floor. But usually when I got there, it was really to train someone up to either sell better or move them out. And so I'd be there for, up to a week. And I would give, each person was different, but I would give each one, just a little thing that they had to do. So all of my sales training is based on tiny little things. It's not on massive things. I had one girl in Bathurst who she was uncomfortable. When someone came in, she let everybody else serve them. When she answered the phone, she seemed uncomfortable all the time. And the only task I gave her to do was every time she went to speak to someone, whether it be a customer, she answered the phone. She was calling someone on the phone to say, your lounge is here. Or even if it was a manager coming to speak to her, the only task I gave her to do was to say, in her head, so no one thought she was insane, was, I am in charge, I am in charge, I am in charge. She had to repeat it 3 times before she spoke to anyone. By the end of that week, she'd gone from never having sold anything at all in months of being there to taking a $5,000 sale off me with reason. You don't actually work in this store and you're not going to be the one shipping it out to the customer. It's going to be me, so I'm taking it. And less than 6 months later, and I thought it was fairly fair actually, because I wasn't going to be there to send it off to the customer, but less than 6 months later, we had a big all company Christmas party in Sydney, and she was there as the top seller for her store. So she was still employed, she was a top seller for her store, and she came within the top 10 of the whole of the company. So it was fantastic furniture, so the whole of the company for New South Wales. So it's not often hard stuff. I find that most of us have some sort of sales training, but it's a matter of getting it to work. What's the little bit that's stopping it from working? So it's really and then in early 2000s, between 2000 and 2010, I got a computer and I found that I could find sales training. So I could find it online and it was available, but it was available at such prices that even then I couldn't afford it anyway. So I've gone from not having any sales training to having to buy books, learning how to do it through trial and error, run experiments, to then having it available, but at a price that the average person really couldn't afford to get it. Now sales training is everywhere out there, but it's no accident that my sales training starts at $25. And the average sales training, $25 for personal coaching, $30 for one of my books, $35 for the Sales Edge class, which is an hour and a half. There's no accident that this price is around about the price of a sales book. That's how much I paid to learn how to sell, and I've learned how to sell. So I give the same back to everybody else. My goal is to help 8 billion people on the planet, and ultimately, it's all at the price of a sales book. So I have a number of different classes. I run group sales classes. I run 5 classes a week. It's like a gym timetable. It costs $150 for 6 months to come into as many classes as you like. And group sales classes is about practice. As salesmen, we do practice selling. We often practice selling with the person in front of us who we want as a client. And of course, when they don't buy, we blame the client. But the truth is, as salesmen, we don't get enough practice with people normally, so that when we actually are talking to a client, we're practicing the sale with the client, and we get it wrong. It's like playing basketball, but having never dribbled a ball and then put out in the NBA expecting to be able to play. You just haven't had the practice enough to keep up with the team. So that's group sales classes covers practice. Personal coaching classes, which is $25, is about fine tuning. It might be help with an elevator pitch. I definitely do it for anyone who wants to speak at any speaking event or a networking event. I run a 1 hour coaching session on what are you looking to achieve? What's the sales component? What are you What do you want the message to be that you get them to hear? What's the questions they're going to be asked, how to answer them, bums on seats. So that's personal coaching. And then it's fine tuning of, I've been doing all this stuff, but this isn't working. Great, let's fix it. My sales books are easy to read. I've got 2 of them. They're $30 each. That's not the one. They're easy to read, and it's all about self-help. You can just do it. It's a reference guide, so you can go back and then you can use the books to do the training yourself. So I've had some people say, I just want to do it in my own time, like say at midnight, and I can't call you. So it's to do it in your own time. And then I've got my latest class, which is the sales edge. It's all those bits of what is it? Sales edges, the small disciplines repeated every day to equal sales success. We come out networking, we're writing a list of people, we're collecting the chat box, got to have the one-to-ones, practicing selling. What is it that brings all of it together? Because the truth is, and then, you know, trying to get leads, convert the leads. There's stuff that we're doing that brings it all together. And these are just the half a dozen things that I do every day to equal sales success. And that's so basically to accumulate sales. So it's $35 that class, and it goes for an hour and a half. That's it. That's all I've got to say. So I'll just leave it for questions so that I don't overtalk. Sylvia.
Not a question, but if you haven't done Misty's sales class, it is certainly the most worthwhile thing that I have ever done. Probably one of the biggest tips that I've learned from Misty is to deliver the price and shut up. Give the customer time to think of what their next question is, and don't try and think of what their next question is. Just listen.
Answer the question, yeah, and then don't think too much. Just let them do.
And the class where we practice not speaking was the hardest.
Was the hardest class. Oh, it was only 12 minutes. You know, Kathy Weaver did a video on that, being silent for 12 minutes on a YouTube video. It's really funny. She just sits there staring at the screen, moving every now and then. Helen, you've got your hand up?
Yes. So I would have to say that I met Misty late last year. She helped me put together a free intro session through coaching, personal coaching. Whenever I've got anything that I basically think, oh, I wonder what I should do there, I just automatically go to Misty. We sit down, we nut it all out, and I come away with more, actually more than what I might have one question, but I'll end up with much more than just that one question answered. So all I can say is that if you haven't actually had the opportunity of actually having a personal coaching session, I've been attending the group sales training, business at breakfast. I just basically follow her around. I'm the groupie.
Stalker.
Yeah. Thank you. Roz, you've got your hand up?
Misty praise session and say, one of the things that I love about it is that it's very simple. They're very memorable. They're just very straightforward tips. So, and I've met people in Canberra who did this class, or I'm not sure if they did the class or just have picked it up from you from Business at Breakfast in Canberra. But one was the price is the price. It's very simple, but it means that whenever I'm talking to someone and they say, so is the price negotiable? I go, it's just the price. And I've learned so much by just these simple tips. So very worthwhile.
You know, that's definitely my coined line. The price is the price. Whenever someone says it, they've come. Yeah.
I know. I was talking to some people at My Vibe recently, another networking group in Canberra, and was talking to someone that said, the price is the price. And I went, you've spoken to Misty.
Yeah, that was the very first class that I ran going back about 6 or 7 years ago. It was the price is the price. And I have to say, I've lost a lot of people from networking from that one class. Once you learn how to say the price and then be quiet and just say the price is the price, it just is what it is. I found that that those people picked up sales from there and gone, I can't even make it back now. I'm stuck with all these clients. But that's the point. The whole point was to come out to get the clients. So once you get what you need, you kind of get to retire from the networking and come in when you just want to meet some people and just, talk to others. Heather, you've got your hand up?
Yes, you mentioned something in the chat when we were getting started this morning about accountability, or, you know, a regular accountability check-in.
Yeah,
Something
I
about
did.
something you're running to help people with their commitment to accountability on a weekly, monthly basis.
Yes. So my accountability class, I do have a weekly accountability class. It comes off the back of the Sales Edge. So when you come to the Sales Edge, it costs $35. And then you learn what are the simple things that you have to do every day, repeat every day to equal this sales success. It comes with a tracking sheet. And then for those, so technically the tracking sheet you can track through all by yourself. However, we all know that doing things all by yourself doesn't necessarily equal doing things. It just equals knowing that I could get things done. And so for those who need someone else to throw the ideas off, I have a weekly group of accountability. It's on a Tuesday evening and a Tuesday morning and a Monday evening, where I just open up a Zoom room and you just come into whichever one you need. You only need to come in for a few minutes to say, this is what I've done, or this is where I'm having trouble. It could end up being almost like a coaching session for you. It's $10 a month to come into the accountability group. And it's just like a recycled like invoice that keeps going through, but it does keep people on track to go, I did this, I didn't do this. I don't understand why my results coming through or not coming through. What do I need to change? And it's about tweaking those little things. So yeah, it's a $10 a week group, $10 a month group to just check in and fix it. Perfect for network marketers, because network marketers, like all of us, can go, oh, really hard 1 week or for a couple of days and then disappear, and then for a long time, and then go, I should do something again. And so it keeps you nice and steady doing the same thing over and over to end up with the consistent results, not the up and down results that most salesmen end up having as well.